faithful friends. This is Teresa. Welcome back to my channel. I am here today to do my March TBR. I put out a poll on my post tab that used to be the community tab of what game you would like me to play, either SPLURT or a little circle tabs I have that have questions on them that I would turn into prompts. And the last time I checked, right before filming, it was 63% that you wanted to see me play the SPLURT game. So, I will let you know how I play this game. I think I have played it one other time with you guys. Maybe a couple times. Okay. So this is how I'm going to play this game. It's not, I mean, of course it's a different kind of game. It's kind of a unique card game. What you do with your people that you're playing with is you have a stack of 20 to 40 cards, depending on how long you play. And then you shuffle the deck, making sure all the cards are facing the same way. And you set it up in the middle with the pink side face up. You flip over the top card to reveal the black side and place it to the right of the deck. And now all players simultaneously kind of shout out, the race is to shout out to be the first person to call out an answer that matches the criteria of the two cards. Well, we're going to do the kind of the same thing, but then I'm going to turn those into prompts that I will go find books for those prompts. But my main recap from last month is going to be on Instagram on Saturday. So you will want to see that. I will post in my post tab when that is up on Saturday. I'm going shopping on Saturday with my daughter, book shopping, so I'm not sure when that will go up. We are going to play our game. Okay. So how you play it in reality is you have your pink, and then you have this, and you combine them. I know that I've played this game before. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that one. Let's shuffle this one a little bit longer. Some of these are really hard. Really, really hard. And I forgot to tell you, it is my birthday month for March. So I really want to only read books that I really want to read. So I don't want to be pulling any hard ones. So because it's my birthday month, I can veto any one that I find that are too hard. Okay, so this is our black card. Ah, I still got the same thing. Beginning with a Y. So it has to begin with a Y, and it has to be something in this room. Okay, so something in this room. These are the possibilities. And I need to, sorry for the reach over here. I need to get out a pad of paper so I can be writing down some writing things down. Okay, so for something in this room, it could be, and has to begin with a Y. These are the things it could be. It could be yarn, yellow. Okay, I'm going to say that has to have something to do with yarn or yellow. So it can have yarn on the cover. It could have the word yellow in the title. It could be a yellow cover, or it could be a word that has Y. It could be a title that spells out either one of these words. So I am going to say yarn or yellow has to in some way do with the book, and you'll find that out at the end when I tell you what book that I am going to use. Okay, and I'm not going to do anything with computers. Okay. These did not shuffle very well. Okay, a holiday, and it can only contain 2 syllables. Christmas. Okay, there we go. I need to read a Christmas book. I like reading Christmas books, even at this time of year, because Christmas is my favorite holiday, and so I'm okay with reading Christmas books at this time of year. So 2 syllables. And a lot of Christmas books, from what I have found, is a lot of them have the word Christmas in them, in the title. Because I battled that one time. I had to choose a book that was a Christmas book, but didn't have Christmas in the title. So, so that will probably be Christmas in the title, and will probably be my holiday book with 2 syllables. Okay, it has to have L and something seen at a zoo. Ooh. Something seen at a zoo. Okay, veto power. Okay. So something to do with a city. Okay, city. And has an L. I'm going to say that it can be set in a city that starts with an L. It could have an element. Something on the cover is a city. Sorry, the camera's kind of shaking. Something on the cover has a city element that has an L in it. Or something else. I'll see what I can find. Okay, so that is 3. We're going to do 7. I forgot to say that at the beginning. Oh, ending in a W, and it can be a pizza topping. So I'm going to kind of turn that around, and I'm going to say that the book has to have something to do with food. Food in the book. It doesn't have to be pizza. Food in the book, and somehow it has to have a W. In the title, it doesn't have an end in a W. That because the last time I played this game, I remember that some of these things were really hard to be real specific. So that's kind of how I'm turning this unique card game into a game that you can make it fit the purpose for a TBR game. Okay, so that's 4. This is number 5. Ending in a P. A word related to money. This one is probably going to be very hard. Okay, I'm going to write that one down, and I'm going to try. Word related to money. And a P. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose 8 because this one's really hard. Oh, okay. Something that grows. Something that grows. And begins with a T or has a T. That one's kind of easy. Could have a picture of roses on the front of it, and roses grow, and thorns begin with a T. Thistle begins with a T, and that grows. So we'll go with something grows, begins with a T or has a T. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 2 more to go, as long as I don't veto any. Ooh, has a Z in it somewhere, and it's something dangerous. A Z and something dangerous. A Z. Something dangerous. Okay. I'm not going to veto that one, but that one's going to be hard. I can tell you that right now. And here's that, something found in an office. I do not want that one. Okay. A hobby. So a character that has a hobby, and it can't contain an S. So no S in the title. A hobby. Baking is a hobby. Quilting is a hobby. The two hobbies I do happen to have S's in them. Scrapbooking, stamping, card making. No S. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's our 8. So I will be back in a few minutes. Probably will be longer than a few minutes. And I will be back to show you what we're going to read in March. Okay, so now, I said this was going to be at the beginning, but I'm just going to continue. Now, I just finished getting my reading journal for the year kind of set up. And for February, I participated in, I told you I was going to do a, my monetary reward for, with my books and my little coffee things. I was going to do my monetary reward for every single month. So I don't want to continue that every single month, but some months it's going to be after the month is over. And how I'm going to do this today is I am going to get out my books and little coffee things and my dice. And I participated in Once Upon a February in February, and I completed all 9 prompts. You'll see that in the wrap up on Instagram on Saturday. I completed all 9 prompts. So I'm going to roll a dice and see where they need to land. So let me get out my dice. And my tray. And my little things. This is my little token when I play the #coffee game. Well, you know what? We're going to make this one we're going to put this one into play. So we need 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we'll put these 4 back. And okay, we're going to say that one of the lower ones goes in the middle space. The True Love's Kiss. I did read a book for that, but that's going to go in the middle space. And then I have another plastic bag here. And I am going to put these in there. And I'm going to shake them up. And without looking at them or really feeling them, the first thing I put my hands on is going to go. Okay, so we have a 1. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so the first one I have is a coffee stand sign, and these are worth $3. Okay, an 8. Okay, we have another coffee thing. This one is worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, $3. A 2. That one is the book. Those are worth $5. Oh, a 6. It landed on the edge. Okay, the first thing I'm feeling is another book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Oh. A 2. We have that already. A 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have that already. A 7. Okay. And that is another coffee thing. A 4. Another coffee thing. A 3. First thing I feel is another book. And then the last one is this one that I said would be worth more. So we won't have to roll the dice for this one. Okay. So I will tell you how much money I earned. And you'll get it kind of a little bit of a sneak peek into my TBR, how well I did. Okay. Quest has a journey is $3. Magical creature has an animal is $5, so that's $8. A new to you author is another $5, so that's $13. Your favorite genre is, my second favorite genre is fairy tale retellings. And so that's $3, but I'm going to tell you, I DNF'd this book, so that doesn't count. I don't get that $3. And then True Love's Kiss is another $3, so 10, 13, 16. And Faithful Companion has a subtitle, that's another $5, that's 21. And Something Beautiful, this is another one that I chose this Something Beautiful book because of the cover. I thought it was a beautiful dress, but I DNF'd that book, so I don't get that $3. And then we have Fairy Godmother, a content creator, Rec. I did read that book, so we get $3. And then this one, I said this one was going to be, the highest one was going to be worth $5, but the books are worth $5. So this one's going to be worth $10. So Slay the Dragon, meant to read last year, which is a good thing that it was landed on there because that's extra worth it. So that one's $10. So let's see how much money I got. 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. So I will take $34 and put with the money that I was planning to spend on my book shopping trip. So an extra $31. That is that. And now I will be back in a few minutes to tell you what I'm going to read for March. Okay. Hello, my creatively faithful friends. I'm back for the second part of the video, and I have my notes here, and I have my stack of books here, and then, so let's get into what I chose. So for why and I don't remember what the other part was. So I wrote down that it could be yarn or yellow. And so I've got yellow on the cover. I checked this book out of the library for Once Upon a February, and I haven't gotten to it yet. I did read book 2 in the series or book 3 in the series. And I don't remember which book it is, 2 or 3. But anyhow, the one about that was a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood called Cloaked in Beauty. I read that in February. And so I am going to read this in March. Especially since fairy tale retellings is my second favorite genre. I'm going to read that. Then I love biblical fiction. And so for, oh no, hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. So for Christmas, and it had to have 2 syllables, I am going to read Christmas Heirloom. So Christmas has 2 syllables, Heirloom has 2 syllables, although it has 2 words in the title, but they're both 2 syllables. And it's a collection of novellas, and it is by Karen Whitmire, Christy Ann Hunter, Sarah Loudon Thomas, and Becky Wade. I've never read anything from Sarah Loudon Thomas that I know of. And I know I've never read anything from Becky Wade, but I have read Karen Whitmire and Christy Ann Hunter. So then book 3 had to have food or... Oh, no, book 3. I'm still getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry. My notes are on 2 different sheets. Okay, prompt number 3 had to have something to do with a city, or it had to have an L, had to have something to do with an L. So I will put this right over here so you can see it. And I have read book 1 in the series. I'm going to read book 2 in the series, Crossfire by C.C. Warrens. That's not my favorite genre, but when I read Crisscross, I fell in love with that book. That book was fabulous. So anyhow, I'm going to read book 2 in the series. Okay, so now on to my physical book. And some of these books I just bought at the very end of last year when I went book shopping with my daughter. So, and this is one of them. So I'm going to read The Queen's Cook by Tessa Afshar. And the prompt had to have food and had to have something to do with a W. Well, in the... I get so turned around with the camera being backwards. So the food are some grapes, and she's the cook. And in biblical days, they drank lots of wine. You make wine out of grapes. So that's where I came up with my rationale for this book. So I'm going to read this book. So that's book 4 on the TBR. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Okay. So the next one is also a book I don't have. I'll put it right over here. And the prompt was a word related to money and then a P. Okay, so this was a stretch. I have been wanting to read this book, and I'm going to buy this book when I go book shopping this weekend with my daughter. So I have been wanting to read Theo of Golden, and I read the synopsis of the book, and he's a very wealthy man, and the synopsis of the book says that he's also a pleasant man. So I am going to fit that into the prompt, words related to money and a P. So I know that's a stretch, but that's how I fit it in there. Okay, then the next one is something that grows and had to have a T. So I also got this next book in the Timeless series by Gabrielle Meyer when I went book shopping at the end of the year. And here we are 2 months into the year. I haven't read it yet. But every hour until then, there's your T. And what is going to grow, I'm sure, is the mystery solving in this book, because this book is one of the timelines is about Jack the Ripper, and there's a mystery, and so I'm sure there'll be some clues that grow and stuff like that. So that was my rationale for this book. Okay, so that's the next one. And then the last one fit both prompts. Both of the two last prompts. Z with something dangerous and hobby with no S. Okay, so the book I'm going to read is called, changing it up with some genres right here, and I am going to put this right over here. It's called A Drizzle of Murder, and it's by Constance Barker. It's on Kindle Unlimited, and that has two Z's in the title, A Drizzle, and it's kind of has something to do with baking, and that's a hobby, and it doesn't have an S. So in the title, it does have an S in the author's name, but no S in the title. So those are all of my books from my TBR game. So I was really excited that I feel like I've got a really good set of books, some books that I really want to read. So I'm going to do that. So then my books for my readathon, my annual readathons. I participate in Chantel from Chantel Reads All Day. I participate in her readathon, and right over here I'll put the title, or the book cover is The Italian Ballerina by Christy Cameron. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I have already started reading this book. I thought I could finish reading it before the end of February, but I kind of put it on hold when I realized I wasn't going to finish both of the books that I was hoping to finish this week. So I'm going to kind of push that off and do that in March for Chantel's readathon, and it has to have, it was a weapon on the cover. Then for Jeanette, Jane Reed's Christian book fiction readathon, annual readathon, the prompt for March is a debut author's novel, and it had to be borrowed or gifted. Well, I'm going to read one of my favorite authors from fairy tale retellings is Melanie Dickerson, and I'm going to read The Healer's Apprentice is her debut novel, so I'm going to read that. And so that is right here. And then Cat Stories for her biblical fiction readathon. You could read retellings, biblical fiction retellings, or something like that. You know, they just have to be have to do with biblical. And she has one word prompts every month. The word for March is new, so I chose to go into the New Testament. And like I told you, I don't remember I told you at the end of January. Well, yeah, I did tell you at the end of January for this, and probably at the end of December. My goal is to do Bible before social media. And for the most part, I have been doing that great. I have a few times, picked up my phone first, but for the most part, I've been doing well at that. And so new, I chose something out of the New Testament, and I like having something to read every single morning. So I read a chapter each morning. And so this month, for March, I chose 2 different books out of the New Testament, and I chose 1st and 2nd Corinthians because they almost equal 31 days. I think they equal 29 days. So I will be reading out of the New Testament. Then the next one is Katie, and hers is 100 Years of Winnie the Pooh. And one of the prompts that I am going to, actually, I did not write down the prompt, but one of the books I'm going to read is a middle grade book, so I can also participate in middle grade March. I don't really read a lot of middle grade books, but I'm going to read Number the Stars by Lois Lowry. When I taught school, I read several of her books, but never read that one, so I am going to read Number the Stars. And then one of the other other prompts from Katie's was to read a mystery or a thriller, and the book Crossfire, C.C. Warren's, that fits that bill. And then the last book that I am kind of going to read, I will definitely read this, is Noble by Misu Andrews. My friend Molly on YouTube, her and I are buddy reading this book together this month. I don't know when we'll start or anything, but we're going to read this together. And so there's that book. And then the last thing I want to do, I do have a 26 and 26 book on my regular, on my other list, but I didn't really choose a 26 and 26 book, so I'm gonna choose one more and see if I can get to both of them. The Italian Ballerina for Chantel's Readathon will fit that 26 and 26, so I am going to also choose one more and see if I can get to that one. So I'm going to press spin, and we'll see what it's going to show. The Paris Dressmaker. Okay. I copied the list straight out of my notes, and that was what those little brackets are transferred over. So I'll leave it there. I won't delete it until I actually read the book. So anyhow, so that is my TBR for the month of March. It is my birthday month, and I wanted really to have really good reads and be really happy with my TBR for this month. That's why I was kind of real particular when I was playing the game. So anyhow, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great reading month. Let me know in the comments down below what you're planning to read for middle grade March. If you're going to participate, like I said, I don't really read a lot of that, but I am going to read one. Or let me know, just what you're up to these days. Thanks so much, and I will catch you later. Bye.